Good morning everyone. So in this video we are going to discuss about DC compound motor and shunt motors as well as the AC induction motors, AC synchronous motor. So these are all the topic we are going to discuss on this video. So first, before going into the shunt motors, we have to know about the what is DC compound motor. Okay, so it is the basically combination of the shunt wound and series wound configuration. So in this it have the combined characteristics of the both the shunt and series motors. It is the part of the load current passes through the both armature and series windings, and the remaining load current passes through the shunt windings only. So the maximum speed of the compound motor is limited. So this type of motor offers the high starting torque of series wound motor. So in that it offers the constant speed regulations under given load. So this is about the compound motor. So here the DC compound motor, it have two types. So one is the short shunt compound motors and another one is the long shunt compound motors. First we are going to discuss about the short shunt compound motors. So in the short shunt compound motor, when shunt field windings is connected with the parallel with the armature, like the shunt motor and this assembly is connected in series with the series field windings, then this type of motor is called as a short shunt compound motor. So depending on the polarity of the connection, short shunt motor is classified into cumulative compound motor and different differential compound motor. So here in the short shunt motor, so the assembly is connected with the series and the series field winding. So that is the thing you have to remember over in this over here. So armature and series field will be connected with the this one series man. Then comes into the this one long shunt motor. So this is the diagram of the long shunt motor. So when the shunt field is connected is parallel to the series field and the armature then this type of motor is called long shunt motor. So in this motor, so what happens, both series field and armature, so series field okay, and armature is connected in the parallel manner in the long shunt motor. Okay, so that is the point you should have to remember. So here it will be depending upon the polarity connection of the shunt field winding and the series field winding and armature. Long shunt motor is classified into the cumulative compound motor and differential compound motor. Okay, so these are all the things about the short shunt and long shunt compound motors. Then we are going to discuss about the applications of DC compound motor. So normally these motors have a high torque and it can be operated even at no loads. They run at moderate high speed at no load position. Okay, so hence the cumulative compound motors are used in the following applications like elevators, rolling mills, punches, shears and planers. So in the field, these DC compound motors are used over there. So this is about the DC compound motor. Next we are going to discuss about the AC induction motor. So the AC induction motor, the parts they are given over here. So the main parts of the AC induction motors are rotor, and this is the rotor, and stator, as well as, so stator, it includes the stationary element and generate the magnetic flux, and the rotor construction looks like a squirrel gauge. So this is the look like a squirrel gauge, and it is called a squirrel gauge induction motor. So in this one, the figure indicates the rotor constructions, and the rotor is made up of copper and aluminum bars, and it fits into a slots, and it fits into a slot, and in end rings to form complete the electrical circuit. A single phase motor has only one stator windings. These windings generate the field which merely pulsates instead of rotating. So when the rotor is stationary, the expanding and collapsing the stator field induces current in the rotor over here. So these currents generate the rotor field opposite in polarity to that the stator. The opposition of the field exerts a turning force on the upper and the lower parts of the rotor, turn it 180 from its position. Since these forces are exerted through the center of the rotor, the turning force is equal to the each direction over. Then the AC motor is a self-starting one. So here the number of methods used to make the motor self-starting. One method is use auxiliary starting windings to give the initial push of the rotor over here. So the rotor rotates at the speed of determined by the frequency of alternating current applied to the stator. Thus, for a constant frequency supplied, the magnetic field will alternate at this frequency. So this speed, we are going to mentioning the speed of rotation. The magnetic field is known as synchronous speed. The rotor differs the frequency of rotation about 1% to 3%. Of this difference is termed as a slip. So the three-phase induction motors are similar to the single-phase induction motor, but the stator has three windings located 120 apart, and they are connected to three lines of supply. So the three-phase current produces a rotating magnetic field in the stator. So this rotates the magnetic field, causes the magnetic field to be the set to the set in the rotor also. So the attraction and the repulsion between the two magnetic fields causes the rotor to turn. As a result, it completes the one full rotation of the full cycle of the current. The direction rotation can be changed by the interchanging any of two coils, any of two line connections. So the single phase rotors are generally found there low power requirements in domestic applications such as ceiling fans, mixer grinder, portable power tools also. So these three-phase motors are generally found for high power requirements such as power drives for a compressor, hydraulic pumps, air conditioning compressors, and irrigation pumps. It may be used over here. So this is about the AC induction motor. So next we are going to see about the AC synchronous motor. So in the AC synchronous motor, it consists of stator, exciter, as well as rotor, and armature and damper bars, frames. So these are all the parts it can be used. So the armature winding or damper bars, both it will be same only. So here we will see about the AC synchronous motor. So these motors have the rotor. So normally it can be connected with the load. So it will be rotate at the same speed as the speed of rotation of the stator current. These motors don't have slip with respect to the stator current. So the synchronous motor consists of stator field windings similar to that of an induction motor. The stator windings produces the rotating magnetic field. The rotor may be permanent magnet or it may be an electromagnet. So as the magnetic field produces, the stator rotates, the rotor is rotated with it. So since the synchronous motor has little starting torque, little starting torque. Some means must be provided to bring it up synchronous speed. So the most common method is to start the motor at no load, allow it to reach full speed, and then energize the magnetic field. The magnetic field of the rotor locks with the magnetic field of the stator, and motor operates synchronous speed. So with one pair of poles per supply, the magnetic field rotates through 360 degree in one cycle of supply. So the frequency rotation of equal to the frequency to the frequency of supply over here. So normally the advantages over in this synchronous motor is cheaper, and it is reliable, and maintenance is free over here. Okay, so this is about the synchronous motor. Thank you.